Welcome to Ecstatic Yoga. I'm Grace. So happy you are here. We are on week 4 and we are practicing and learning about Udana Vayu. And this is the upward flow of energy. This beautiful Vayu here. We're going to be practicing a inversion practice with a little bit of laterals for complementary practices and practicing bringing that energy up. Udana Vayu is housed, its home is right here in the throat. So we'll be moving that energy up the Sushumna and up through the throat and higher. So we'll be practicing some kriyas in this practice as well to assist that upward flow of energy and that Udana Vayu. And I will guide you through those. It'll be a little different. Our Kriya practice this week will be in our Asana practice. So you'll have one less video for week 4. Let's begin finding a comfortable seat, feeling those sits bones connected to the earth, finding where your body is connected, and depending on your seat, finding a comfortable seat. And there's our ecstatic yoga kitty, Xander. Hi, babe. Wouldn't be ecstatic yoga without Xander. And taking a moment to bring your awareness to this physical body, Anamaya Kosha, this most dense aspect of our being, and noticing the support of the earth, supporting our body, noticing where your physical body is in time and space, where it's the legs, the arms, the shoulders, the torso, the head, and beginning to move into that pranamaya kosha, bringing your focus into the breath. And we're going to start with belly breathing, bringing the breath down to this lower abdomen, inhaling, feeling the abdomen expand, exhaling, feeling that navel coming in towards the spine to trigger that relaxation response and calm the nervous system. This is your time. This practice is your time, so we'll let the whole world go and focus in on yourself and your experiences and the sensations of this upward moving energy. And as you breathe into the belly in your natural rhythm, taking a moment to scan the inner being, moving into pratyahara for a moment here, just deeply withdrawing your attention from the external world and diving the attention inward, noticing that heart beating inside of you, that pulsation in the center of your chest, and that pulse moving through your whole body. And maybe you feel some tingling or moving of energy, warmth, cool, trembling, noticing what's going on inside of you energetically, and also basking in whatever emotions are arising, letting go of all judgment or any need to push them away or make them wrong, just basking and leaning in and feeling everything fully. And then taking this moment to set an intention for yourself, stating it in the positive, in the present, as if it's here right now. And taking a moment, a couple breaths, I'll give you a couple breaths in silent to see that in your mind's eye, see yourself in that intention fully manifest and feel those emotions that you're truly wanting, the emotional benefit. Anything without the emotional benefit is not very valuable. So dive into feeling those emotions now that you want to create. And I'll give you a few breaths. to practice this mental rehearsal, manifesting our desires. And releasing that intention with a this or better, this or better, this or better. Let's begin our asana practice. We're going to begin in a child's pose. So finding yourself in your child's pose, you can open up those knees a little and let the belly rest in between the legs and find a comfortable position. We're going to rest in this child's pose and just focus on the breath for a few breaths. Give yourself time to really be with yourself deeply. If you find yourself bringing your attention to the thoughts, just bring yourself back to the sensations, the present moment sensations in your body. And on your next inhale, coming up into a table position. And we're going to practice a Kriya here with this practice. We're going to be using the Mula Bandha, and we're going to be inviting that energy to move up through engaging the Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor, and engaging that energy to move up as we come up from child's pose into our table. But we're going to be using a breath, and it's a little different. So I wanted to have us just do that breath for a moment here in table, and then when we move into the Kriya, it'll be a little easier. So we're going to exhale the breath completely. The very bottom of your exhale, engage your Mula Bandha. And we're going to inhale 2/3 of the breath. So inhaling 1, 2, release the Bandha, and inhaling 3. So we're going to inhale to 2/3 of the breath while we hold the Mula Bandha. And then on the exhale, and as we release the Mula Bandha, we're going to take one more inhale. The last third of our inhale will be with the Mula Bandha released. So we want to keep the breath flowing for the entire 3 parts, but the Mula Bandha is going to be engaged only the first 2. And as we release that Mula Bandha and continue to inhale 1 more third of our breath, we're going to be inviting that energy, that Udana Vayu, and that energy to be moving up. So let's practice it. Let's just practice the breath a couple more times. So exhaling completely. Engage that Mula Bandha at the bottom of the exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, and release the Bandha and continue inhale. I'll do a little better with the counts here. We're going to exhale completely. Bottom of the exhale, engage the Mula Bandha. And we're going to inhale for 1, engaging the Bandha, 2, engaging the Bandha, and releasing the Mula Bandha, and inhaling 1, and then exhaling. Do it one more time, and then we'll do it with the Kriya. Bottom of the exhale, engage the Mula Bandha. Inhaling 1, 2, release the Mula Bandha. Inhaling 3. Beautiful. And let's exhale as we come down into child's pose. Bottom of the exhale, engage your Mula Bandha. Coming up, inhaling 1, 2, release the Mula Bandha. Inhaling for 3. And exhaling completely. Engage the Mula Bandha at the bottom of the exhale. Inhaling 1, 2. Continue to inhale as you release the Mula Bandha. Inhaling 3. We'll do one more together, and we'll do a couple on our own. Exhaling completely into your child's pose, activating this Udana Bandha, this upward flowing movement. Bottom of the exhale, engage the Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor. Inhaling 1, 2, release the Mula Bandha. Inhaling 3. Beautiful. And doing it on your own now. Exhaling into child's and begin the Kriya. And as you release that Mula Bandha, that last third of the breath, noticing the sensations when you release that Mula Bandha, that pulsing of energy upward. And one more time. Beautiful job. And we're going to continue this child's pose, and we're going to move all the way from child's pose. And if you'd like to move all the way into an up dog. Waking up that spinal column, bringing some flexibility, some movement into it. Finding your own rhythm, making any little spontaneous movements you may need to make. And the next time you get into your child's pose, let's just stay there for a moment for a couple breaths, noticing the sensations in the body, relaxing completely. And then bringing the hands over to one side or the other as we open up those lateral movements. And moving over to the other side. And then coming back to center. Taking a breath in child's pose to notice the sensations. And then coming back into your table, bringing those knees hip width distance. And we're going to spread those fingers out, curl those toes under, moving into downward facing dog. So we're going to start our inversions, the little inversion in the child's pose. Downward facing dog is a really nice inversion. The heels are coming towards the floor, the earth, and they may not make it, but it's the direction, the line of energy. Relaxing those shoulders, head is right between the arms. Slight internal rotation of the upper thighs. Just feeling this inversion for a couple breaths. Beautiful. Beginning to walk the dog a little bit. One heel comes all the way down, opposite knee bends in, and just going side to side. Keeping that breath flowing. Nice deep breaths. You can move into 3-part yogic breaths if you like. Making sure to always start with the lower belly. And we're going to be in this inversion for a little while longer. We're going to move into 3-legged dog. So we can take that right leg and kick it up behind us. And let's take that knee in towards our nose. And back up. Knee towards the left elbow. And back up. Knee towards the right elbow. And back up. And then bending that right knee and opening up to the right side as you open those hips. Bring a little twist into the spine, a little bit of lateral movement, but we're still in that inversion. Couple breaths here. Beautiful job in releasing the leg down. Moving to the other side, bringing that left leg out into 3-legged dog. And let's bring that left knee to the nose. Bringing that left knee to the right elbow. Up. And then the left. Back up. Bending that knee, that left knee, and opening up to the left, opening up that left hip. And breathe. Beautiful. And releasing that leg down and beginning to walk the hands into a forward fold, coming up into a half forward fold, back down to your forward fold. And the next inhale, lifting the head, lifting the heart, and coming all the way up. I have to adjust this camera a little bit. Okay, so we are going to move into a Side angle first as we move into some a nice wide stance. We're going to move into a little bit of a lateral movement to just complement the inversions. That was a nice long inversion with our down dog. Let's move into a little lateral movement before we do a little bit more inversions. So we're going to take that right leg, point at 90 degrees, back leg can either be 45 to 30, 35. Feel what feels best for your body, your hip. And we're going to bend that right knee so it's right over the right ankle. So the foundation is set, feet, the alignment, we got the knee over the ankle, hips are open, we're in our side angle right now, and we're going to bring those arms out. Lunge forward to the right, and then scoop that right hand to very gently rest. Very, very little weight. You can have a little cup with that right hand, and then bringing that left arm up and over. And breathe. One more breath here. Beautiful. And then coming back up. And we move to the other side. Let's set that foundation first. So that left foot is out 90 degrees. Back foot is anywhere from 45 to 35. Bending that left knee so it's right over the left ankle. Arms are out. Let's lunge to the left now. And then curl that arm, gently resting. Bring that arm. You could go either way, but sometimes this is a little easier on the shoulder, opening up the shoulder. Very little weight on this left arm. And engage those bandhas and breathe. One more breath. Beautiful. And then coming up, standing position. And we're going to move into a wide leg forward fold here. So the legs are wide. The outer edges of our feet, we're going to set that foundation, are parallel to the small edges of your mat. And toes are coming in just a little bit. Now bring the hands to the hips, lengthening the spine, feeling that crown reaching up towards the ceiling. Nice little micro bend on the knees, tilting that pelvis forward and hinging down into your wide leg forward fold. And you can come down to a block or 2 blocks. I'm going to just use one for now. And just coming into a regular forward fold for a moment. So we're going to come into the forward fold, taking a breath here. And then coming into half forward fold. So you can, your fingertips on the earth, hands on the block, feeling that half forward fold as you lengthen that spine. A nice gentle tuck of the chin to open up and lengthen the back of the neck. And then relaxing back down into your forward fold. And we're going to work with this Kriya now. So we're going to the bottom of the exhale, the very bottom of our next exhale, we're going to engage Udana Bandha. So we're going to bring that navel up and towards the spine. We're going to pause the breath. We're going to lift up into that half forward fold. I'm just going to not use it. And we're going to hold for a moment, keeping that Udana Bandha, that navel coming up towards the spine. And then relaxing the belly with the inhale. and exhaling back into the forward fold. So we're inviting that Udana Vayu and that upward flow of energy. That bottom of the exhale, engaging that Uddiyana Bandha, coming up as we hold the breath out, and then inhale, relaxing the belly, and exhaling down. The very bottom of your exhale, engaging that Uddiyana Bandha, navel to spine, holding the breath as you come up into your half forward fold. Hold for a moment, that Uddiyana Bandha, fighting that upward flow of energy, and inhaling, relaxing the belly. And exhaling down. We'll do 2 more together. Bottom of the exhale, engaging the Uddiyana Bandha, navel to spine, holding the breath, coming up into half forward fold, hold, and inhale, relaxing the belly. And exhaling down. 1 more together. Bottom of the exhale, engage your Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale, coming up, holding the breath, out, hold, inhaling, relaxing the belly, and exhaling down. And I'm going to invite you to move into a little deeper inversion, a little more of an inversion than a forward fold. As you bring the hands to the same line as the feet and relaxing into this deep forward fold, adding more inversion into the pose, and resting here, simply breathing at your natural rhythm for a few breaths. One more breath here. Beautiful job. And on your next inhale, bringing the hands to the hips, lifting that head first. Head come up first. Let it guide you all the way up. Beautiful job. Coming back to center. So we're going to come down to the mat now. We're going to use our standing yoga mudra. Clasping those hands behind you, opening up the chest, hinging down, bringing the arms up, the head down, honoring the heart. Beautiful. Releasing the hands, and let's come down. And we're going to come all the way down onto our backs. So we're going to add a little twist. And first, let's do a couple spinal releases before we move into our twist. So we're keeping the knees up and maybe bringing those, windshield wipering those knees back and forth a little bit. Releasing the lower back. Maybe moving into some hula. Swiveling those hips. There may be some hip pointers or some cat-cow. Just releasing that lower back, that pelvic area. Beautiful. And then let's move into a supine spinal twist. So we're going to take the left leg out straight, right knee is bent. Bringing the hips over to the right a little bit as you bend that right knee over to the left. Left hand guiding the right knee over. Right hand comes out 90 degrees and gaze out over those right fingertips and breathe. And 2 more breaths here. Beautiful job. And releasing the knee, coming back to center. Just taking a moment here in the middle. Bring the left leg out. Taking those hips. Right leg straight out, left knee is up. Taking those hips over to the left, bending the left knee, bringing the left knee over to the right, right hand guiding that left knee over, and taking the left arm 90 degrees out. Turning the head to gaze out over the left fingertips. And breathe and relax. Nice deep twist. Beautiful pose to cleanse the spinal column, the internal organs, bring vitality and prana and life force to the spinal column and the internal organs. 2 more breaths. And releasing that left leg, coming back to center, back to neutral. Both knees are up, making some gentle movements. And then let's bring the knees into the chest. Final release. The lower back. We're going to move into our next inversion. We're going to bring those legs straight up. We'll prepare for, before we move to half shoulder stand, our inversion. A little flexing and extending of feet. Maybe shake out the legs a little bit. A little dead bug. And coming back to center. Then move into our half shoulder stand. If that's not in your practice, you can just continue to have the legs raised up for that inversion. If half shoulder stand is in your practice, we're going to lift those hips up, bring in the hands, the base of the sacrum, so the hips, pelvis, and the feet are right above the head if you can. And let's adjust that neck so it's comfortable. that throat, home of Udana Vayu, allowing that inversion pose to activate that upward flow of energy. Energy's flowing up my legs, up towards and into that throat. A couple more breaths here. And let's move into a little variations here. So I'm going to take my right leg and I'm just going to bring it all the way down to the floor. Left leg is still up. Then I'll bring it back up. And then I'm going to take that right leg and I'm going to bring it out to the side. And back up. And then the left leg, bringing it all the way down to the earth. It's plants in the way. Bringing that back up. And then bringing that left leg over to the side. See. Go. And back up. And then let's hinge those legs over into our plow pose, adjusting that chin for the neck to be comfortable. I like to keep those legs parallel to the earth to protect this lower back. And if you do like to bring your knees all the way down, that's okay too. That's in your practice. One more breath here. Beautiful. Curling those knees in and making yourself into a little ball. And bringing the hands down to the earth. And nice and slowly and carefully rolling down one vertebrae at a time. And extending those legs out. Before we move into our fish, our Matsyasana, just resting the legs out, the arms out, noticing that upward flow of energy in your body, that Udana Vayu flow. Beautiful. And we're going to move into our fish, our Matsyasana. Palms are going to be down facing the earth, and we're going to bring those palms underneath the buttocks. The arms are going to snuggle up really close to the body. And we're going to be opening up this throat, this home of Udana Vayu, pressing into the elbows and forearms, lifting the chest and the head off the earth, and then gently bringing them down. Noticing that opening of the throat, that home of Udana Vayu. And breathe. One more breath here. And then the next inhale, pressing into those elbows, lifting the chest, straightening out the spine and the head, and gently coming down. Releasing the hands, the buttocks, and receiving the posture, feeling that energy in the throat. Beautiful. And bringing the knees up, bringing those soles of the feet together, clasping those hands around the feet, moving into Supta Baddha Konasana, supine butterfly, maybe a little rocking back and forth. And then coming back to center and gently pulling those feet in towards the body as you open up the hips. And find your gentle edge. Remember, we always play on the edge, maybe a 7. We're not pushing and forcing and striving. We're not trying out for the Olympics. We're allowing the body to open, and it opens more gracefully without the risk of injury when we are rest on that gentle edge. And breathe. You can engage that Mula Bandha. One more breath here. Jaw. And then holding the outside of those feet still, let's open those legs up into a nice V. If you need to use a strap, you can use that. And gently pulling the legs in towards you. And you can bend those knees a little if you need to too. Feeling a nice stretch on the backs of the legs. And breathe. Bringing your attention into the body rather than the thoughts, sensations occurring in this physical body. And let's bring the legs together and pulling them in, noticing stretch on the back of the legs, but the different sensations. And even if you want to flex and extend the feet for more sensation, you can do that. Keeping the breath flowing in that belly. All your attention on the sensations in the body. And then bringing those legs out wide again, bending those knees nice and wide and pulling those knees down into baby. Feeling the hip opening, noticing the sensations, basking in that nectar. And then moving into your happy baby, rolling around a little, maybe kicking the feet, finding your expression of your happy baby, and taking this time, move into any pose or any stretch, or just keep in your happy baby. Finishing up on any last poses or wiggling around in your happy baby or any last little movements you need to make. Feel comfortable for your Savasana. And we move into Savasana, relaxing the legs out, the arms out. It's comfortable to have the feet flopping out, the palms up, and a nice comfortable position if you need a blanket or socks or a sweatshirt, eye pillow, taking care of yourself so that you can sink into deep relaxation and receive and absorb all this energy, this upward flowing energy occurring inside your body. Letting everything relax, sink into the earth, become more heavy. Muscles, the bones, releasing all tension. And we will move into a few moments of silent stillness. Taking a nice deep breath into the belly, signaling your body to come back. Beginning to wiggle those fingers and those toes, stretching out the arms and the legs. And when you feel ready, rolling over to one side or the other, taking a breath here and coming up to a seated position.
Doing a lesson again?
Yeah. So coming to a seated position when you're ready, finding a nice comfortable seat, and taking a moment to check in again with the energies in your body. Maybe noticing any shifts from when you began practice. Hiccups. And bringing yourself back to that intention that you set at the beginning of practice. Feeling those same emotions, seeing yourself in that situation, that intention. And then releasing that intention with a this or better, this or better, this or better. And we will conclude our practice with a namaste prayer. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, light, truth, and peace. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this Udana Vayu practice. I am Grace with Ecstatic Yoga. You can go to oneworldstudio.com, find out more information about our events on our calendar, or our studio, more about our yoga teacher trainings and retreats, and wishing you a most beautiful and most blessed day.